Hi guys, welcome to this extra special episode, a little bonus clip. It's a conversation between me and Jake. Last episode we never really got to go through the Formula One. That was like right after, the day after the Monaco Grand Prix. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We'll just speak for a bit on different themes around it, and hopefully, I probably can do one of these quick hits on sports with different people, different conversations. But thank you for listening and enjoy. How you feel about this weekend's Monaco race?
GP.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was watching some F2 clips and I was like, damn, I wish I watched F2 instead. Because that's where all the hype was. I was reading an article and it was saying, yo, the F2 cars were actually faster on the track
I, s- I, s-
comparatively.
I still don't,
Comparatively.
yeah, no, I know, but I still don't get this troll what would even, like, even Max looked like him salty about it. Like, keep saying that, you know?
You know what it is? I think that there's definitely a lot that needs to be addressed where the cars are concerned and Monaco specifically are concerned, given how the cars are now. Because the
Mm-hmm.
cars are too big. The cars
Mm-hmm.
are too big, they're too wide, they're too long. So the track itself does not lend
Any
to
overtaking.
any serious overtaking. You see
Yeah.
me? And that makes the race boring.
Yeah.
This is the first time in
There's barely any DRS, no? How many DRS zones are there?
this I don't remember, I think one or two. But this is I also read that this is the first time in F1 history that the top 10 um qualifying positions end up
Mm.
being the finish position. So
It
nobody
equals,
moved.
nothing changed. Yeah.
Nothing changed. And that is boring. Like there were some little pockets of excitement. Of course, the race started with like big excitement, big
Yeah, but I
um
think that affected it, you know.
it did. So it started out with excitement. Carlos Sainz first locking up, coming off the pull off to the left, and then
Mm.
back of the field,
Perez
what's name?
and
Kevin
Magnussen.
Magnussen licking to
Mm-hmm.
Perez, which then licking to Hulk,
Hulkenberg.
and then
Mm.
further up, Ocon and Gasly have
Gasly.
an accident as well. So like, those little moments were fun and great. Everybody was fine, so it makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
But because of how Monaco stay and because everybody went into the pit, it
Yeah.
then made it a point where nobody had to go into the pit again to
Yeah.
change tires. 'Cause
Exactly.
everybody changed their tires. So that's because Monaco is one of them places there where the race is won based on strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Qualifying and strategy. So everybody make sure say, yo, boom, the qualifying
Pole.
is the best qualifying them
Exactly.
can get to get a high position. Whoever on pole typically either will come first or second based on
Yeah.
strategy or coming to play after an actual race day. So there
Mm-hmm.
was no need for strategy where that was concerned. Really, I mean everybody had the same strategy basically, which was to
Yeah.
hold out as long as you could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mercedes had the worst strategy out of everybody because them decide say them are gonna make him name
Russell.
Russell George. I
Mm-hmm.
almost said George Lopez. Um, maintaining tires, which created a very big window for the
Between
top
yeah,
four.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and funny enough,
I remember I saw
yesterday,
plus 18 or something. What was the interval?
yeah, one of the time I was like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I do think that I think Science had pitted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if anybody else on the front grid had pitted, but there was such a big window that they could pit and not have any
Without
issues.
without any
You see
undercutting
me?
or anything.
Then now they messed up and did not, well, not George. Lewis also messed up because he was just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, why didn't anybody tell me that the outlap was so important? Like, bro, you should know this. But
Yeah.
alas, so. that
That's
messed up as
weird.
well. Is lucky them lucky, say Monaco little
Tight,
bit
narrow. Yeah.
because George was under pressure unnecessarily. Isn't it? And it's just like, bro, what in the world? I mean, of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Congratulations to Leclerc, finally winning your home race, finally getting
Woo!
on, coming first after
Bruh,
what,
I am
since 2020
I
or
am happy for
2021?
him. I'm
I think
happy
at
for him.
2021 is the last time we win a race. I think at 21 or 2020, one of the two. But I mean, I'm not that Leclerc fan. I don't give a shit about that nigga. But I have to give him roses. Like hate, I can hate all I want to hate, but the man deserve it. Like it was a big moment. Okay, that boy deserved it. What I really enjoyed was listening to the commentator talk about his journey being the boy that he should take the bus on the Monaco circuit, seeing as Monaco circuit being built as a boy to now finally winning one for Ferrari because Ferrari hasn't won that race in years,
Yeah,
and then one bringing it home for himself and for Monaco itself
yeah,
was just great. I mean, it was a tear-jerking moment,
yeah.
and I
100%.
hope that. Well, it's good to see that the curse that everybody was talking
Exactly
about, has
what him have. Exactly.
finally
Yeah,
been
yeah,
lifted
yeah, yeah.
because Jaja,
No,
when I
brother,
remember,
for me, it's always something like I always want people win at least at home or pole in a specific position at home at least
yeah,
once.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, for
even
sure.
Yuki one day, Yuki. Remember even when Joe,
Joe, yeah,
I think him they end up like P10 or P11 and him they are cry because him they happy for even get that. You see me? And like I say, you know, say them home race yeah, matter to them
no,
to
it
the
matter,
end.
man. It matter,
You
bro.
see me?
Like we know that through football and
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
cricket
exactly.
and
Yeah.
them things. There's like we know other sports. You know that your home event is
Yeah.
the event. Like your fans are there. It's like you
That's
end
the
up
real thing.
if there's
Exactly.
somebody home, you'll have your fans there, but
Hmm.
you know that the majority of people in the stand is the other competitors'
Yeah.
fans. This is the one time where majority of the people there are your people. They are there to support you, and
Hmm.
in this case, the car that you drive for, because that's the two things. It's like Ferrari's from Italy, he's
Yeah.
from Italy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a big, big deal. You see me?
Yeah.
So on many fronts, it was an exceptional moment. The race itself was very boring, but I do think that given everything, Charles did a good job of maintaining a good drive. Like he never got too
Exactly.
hard to
Yeah,
make
because
himself
I was
mess up
afraid of
or
that.
anything like that. Because I was definitely expecting that in the last few laps. I was like, that brother here, I'm gonna make Piastri, make him fuck up,
Brother,
and
it would have
remember I
irked
did
me still.
Piastri.
It would have irked me.
But
Would have irked me.
I wouldn't have been upset either if
Yeah.
Piastri did win.
Yeah.
Because Piastri, that bro, been
Yeah,
driving
no.
this is second GP, second year, sorry.
Yeah, second year.
And the
Hmm.
man a drive dog. I swear said this man
No,
been driving
but right
for
now,
like all
McLaren now
five
make no
years.
sense to me. McLaren in general now make no sense to me. Like remember, Lando practically last two races before this, two circuits before this, actually P1 and P2, no?
You know, when you talk about them pole.
Yeah, in win the in one the one
Him win
before.
the last race.
Yeah,
Him win
and then
Imola. Is it
and
Imola him
then
win?
yes, I think I Imola and then the one before that him and Max. Like him they are trying to catch up Max and get
Yeah,
P2. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, funny enough, I definitely thought, because it's been proved false. But I definitely thought that boy was washed. I
yeah.
definitely
Who?
thought Lando was washed. Lando, like, I mean, here's the thing. Here's why I think
Brother,
he's. Here's why I thought.
somebody like Stroll washed. Don't
No,
put
no,
Lando in a
Stroll.
category.
No, Stroll is not washed. Stroll should not be on the grid. Period. Period. Like I think Lando should be on the grid still. I just
Mm.
didn't think that he should be the number one driver anymore
You
because
think Piastri ahead of him?
yes, I genuinely think that PSG is ahead of him. You see me? Um, Lando, and here's why. Piastri is a newcomer and he makes less mistakes. Lando will get pole and just dash for the pole because of one stupid mistake. The man brain just can't like maintain the pressure, brother. Like
Hold
every
on.
time the man get
Let me
pressure,
check. Let me check their ages because I'm not sure. Lando
remember I
is
said Lando's been in this thing for more than
no,
5 years
no,
now,
no.
bro.
But because I think in general, like Lando is 24 and
I think
Piastri,
Piastri like 21.
yeah, Piastri younger, no?
Yeah, Piastri like 21
20,
or 20,
23 actually, 23.
23. Okay. Yeah, but when he
Yeah,
started, he would have been 21.
yeah, no, yeah,
Or
fair enough. No, yeah, or almost, sorry, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, like when you look at his performance, last year he was the only one that won a sprint over Max. That was
Mm-hmm.
last year, yeah, last year. You see me? So he was the first person where they win a race outside of a Red Bull. You see me? And the pressure where him the under from Max, brother, the man could lose that. And the man hold the composure and win that race. Each
Yeah,
opportunity that Lando had last year and earlier this year to prove that he could beat Max or keep up with Max, in fumble in some way, some shape,
for sure.
somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's why I was just like, as much as I like Lando, I forget the man in props because yo, nigga worked for that shit.
yeah,
He
yeah.
proved to me that day, all right, he's not washed.
Yep.
You see me?
Why you say wash? I don't know why it annoy
Man,
me.
washed.
No, no, no. A washer like Ricardo, like Daniel Ricardo, him kind of look like him wash. Cause so UK are out qualifying, out polling consistently. I think must say UK according to let me see if I can find what the graphic, but UK up there,
No,
like
you can be.
in terms of points, even points, like he's up
No,
there.
UK is doing pretty well. UK
Yeah,
ended yesterday at what?
P7 I think,
P
or
P7 or something like that, which is
yeah,
impressive, especially if you compare him to his more established driver,
yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo, who is not doing jack shit since he's been back all season.
All right,
Um,
he's in the top 10 right now for the drivers' championship. Yuki,
yeah, because the man a lay points, bro. Like he has been in the top 10 for quite a few races now. You see me?
yeah,
And also he has been doing pretty good in qualifying as well. You see me? Can't say the
mm-hmm.
same for Daniel Ricciardo.
Retired.
And it peeved me, bro, because I genuinely rate Daniel Ricciardo as a brother.
Yeah, yeah, I really like
But
it. Yeah.
I was hoping that when he got back the seat last year, that he would have
Mm-hmm.
finally been able to prove to us that, yo, it was really Reynolds, then McLaren's fault why he never did that perform. But now that him in a V carb, he's not performing, and the car setup is to his liking. You
Yeah,
see me?
that's
So
the
it's not
that's the
him.
part kind of
He
get me
can't
because
even say because when he was at McLaren, his main complaint was the car setup is not how he likes it.
yeah, yeah,
They specifically made this car this year at V car to suit him,
yeah,
and the man still not perform.
yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Apparently, somebody did say, "Oh, Yuki might move because of that." Like, because this are like the second or third person will come in and then put him ahead of Yuki, and then Yuki still outperform them. Because even youth last year, his name
Liam
the freeze,
or the freeze.
exactly.
Yeah, Nick the
Even him,
freeze.
exactly. Everybody did bring in him and be like, "Yo, yeah, he might be the one," and like Yuki now get no ratings for that, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair though. Yuki is partly responsible for that
100%.
because when Yuki first came into the to Formula One, he was very unsettled. Did a cost what do you mean AlphaTauri at the time a ton of money, kind of crash out. Like he
Yeah,
was having temper tantrums on the radio. Like he was close to being kicked, and just because of the Honda sponsorship, why I'm still there. To be
yeah,
honest, like if we're being keeping it like buck, like if it was not because of Honda, Yuki would have been out already. You see me? Like Red Bull would have been like, yeah, we don't need this nigga, and swapped him out. But props to him for doing the work and like improving in mental ability to like stay calm has drastically improved. Like I can't tell when last me hear him curse on the radio, unless
Exactly.
unless we just not hear him radio like one time. But he has been pretty impressive from late last year
Mm.
into this season, and he is increasingly growing as a driver that I actually like. Because I have drivers that I like very much. For example, Lewis. I love Carlos Sainz. I
Yeah.
love
Albon too.
Albon. You know, so Albon, my boy.
Yo, him,
Um,
him, wanna know. Something need for happen with Williams for him because he's been outperforming what the car seems to be so far.
no, for sure. Like, look at Monaco, the qualifying when put in, bro. It's just
Exactly.
like impressive. And the thing is, the car was so horrible before, and for him to place it where it is with not much improvement this weekend is just like big up yourself, bro. But yeah, Albon is one. Sergio Perez. Let me tell you why Sergio Perez is a driver I'm rate. Yes, he's not consistent where qualifying is concerned. Yes, he losing cool the whole of last year. However, I always found it cool to see where he would have like placed like a P14 and the man just dig up the road and find him where a P2.
Yeah,
Like when I
brother.
started watching F1 and I see him do that, I say, yo, that brother yeah have balls. Like him not afraid for overtake nobody and take a risk. And I rate that about him. Which
Hmm.
was to his detriment to some extent last year because I think that him brain just never as screwed on last
Yeah,
year as previous
because
years.
him they're more willing to take the chances because the chances work. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Hmm.
this last year the chances weren't there. Like he was not as methodical as he usually
Yeah.
is.
Like
And so him
remember them I think Melbourne when the man did have the one tire change. You remember, brother? That was
brother, he like it man was so impressive to me, dog. Like
uh,
honestly, actually how him start the year last year was so like was so depressing to see the downfall of his career last year because it was like you started on such a high. You were
yeah,
neck to neck
yeah,
with Max on points and performance and all these things. Also, like not for nothing, Paris is like a street god. You see me? So it's just like to see him towards the end of like mid last year into now, not performing on street circuits. And it's like, bro, you are the street god. Like, no only person that to me is better than you on street is Musty Lewis. You see me?
yeah,
So it's just like to
yeah.
see you not perform on these street circuits the way
It's
you used to
concerning.
perform.
It's concerning. It's concerning.
Him better, I hope him sign a contract over the weekend. That's all me I
Yeah,
say.
yeah, because I know, but there signs. Somebody has signs, and I feel like say whoever signs, I have a good driver. Even if I'm not the A driver, wherever I'm go,
Yeah.
it might be a
I
good
am
driver.
just concerned. I mean, we've spoken about this in the group chat, but I am concerned about. I mean, yes, he's more rounded, but I'm still concerned about him going to a midfield or, in the case of Williams, if he goes to Williams, a back of the grid
Back at the grid,
team, and
drone.
how that will impact his mental health. You see me? Because we saw it happen to Besides happened to Wayne named to Daniel Ricciardo when he moved from Red Bull to go Renault when Renault they make the promise say, yeah man,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna move up in the points and we're gonna be like a top five team and they
Mm-hmm.
never really did become a top five team. But as you had rightfully said, Daniel Ricciardo different because Daniel come from Red Bull where he
Mm-hmm.
win races
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
high performing vehicle step down significantly. Whereas Carlos Sainz has gone through pretty much from back of the
Multiple.
field
Exactly.
midfield, front of the field type of vibes. I guess just for me, like he's one of my favorite drivers. He's like my second favorite driver on the grid right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just one of the best for him. Is him like I don't even like Red Bull, but I would prefer him go Red Bull because like
Yeah. I think so. I think so, and I think he would. I don't know how to say it. Like he would, in one way, he would push Max, but I feel like he wouldn't be afraid to jump Max if he can. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh,
definitely.
easily, yeah.
As we see him compete with Leclerc
Yeah,
all the
Leclerc,
time.
exactly. Yeah.
And the man is a strategist, dog. The man, I remember that race here too. The man make a comment and it's just like, oh, like in that check-in on Leclerc, and he must say, yeah, make sure him XYZ. And I was like, bro, this
No,
man not
he's a
even
no, he's a teammate, brother. He's
team, like
Yeah.
teammate, the man is a strategist dog. Not
Yeah.
last year, he would not have gotten that win last year if it was up to the strategy from Ferrari itself. A
Ferrari. Yeah.
theme
Yep.
strategy.
Yep.
Like
I
all the
decide to say,
times he
oh,
was,
yeah.
yeah, all the times he's performed well in the last 2 years, I feel own a strategy. Like,
Mm,
did all of the time it work? No, not really. But most of the time, it definitely did work in his favor. You see me? And I
mm,
think that is part of why Ferrari kind of like drop him
mm.
because Leclerc is someone they can control.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know,
You
and
can't control.
them
You can't
and them
control signs.
exactly, and then put Leclerc on the pedestal already. Like when them give, you see, that's why the same thing with Lando. What I try to tell you, like whenever you see somebody get like a multi-year contract, that means say yo, are you where I put everything in? You see me? So if like Perez get a one on option for next year, like and them look at something that them get the people, them be like, yeah, all right, yeah, go on good. But it's when you hear multi-year, be like, all right, so this youth are the baby for them. You see me?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's. I'll be honest. I'm a bit salty where that is concerned because that's also one of the reasons why I'm not a big Leclerc fan. Because how do
Yeah.
you renew this brother contract for so many years, increase his pay significantly, and he was not performing.
He
He was
wasn't the
not
best. He
consistent.
wasn't the
He
best.
was not. He was not consistent. The man had crash out hell. Some of it is not
Mm.
his fault. I agree. Whatever. I don't
Yeah.
care. But you have another driver that was consistent the entire year. The entire year. The man give you the one win that you've received in 2, 3 years. You
Yeah.
see me? And you drop him. You never want to extend him contract because apparently they gave him a deal of a 1 year contract. And him said no on that. So them decide and then them link Lewis and boom, boom, boom. Him get knocked. But I'm just like, bro, if in my mind, if I am knocking a driver, I
Mhm.
Leclerc me a knock. Like me not gonna knock
Yeah, but
signs.
no, but
Literally.
it hard. May tell you why. May tell you why. I feel like say in the circles, the F1 circles, them
Mm.
have the one them where them know say one is like a brand like everybody
Yeah.
like you get what I try to say marketing wise,
Yeah.
and
I
two
mean it's also because he's from the
Monaco.
same
Yeah,
country
exactly.
where the company is
Everybody.
from. I
Yeah.
get it. He's a poster boy. I get it.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing. So
get it.
yeah, so even that part the way them just dive into that and is also like oh I think no not him anymore but man also like Toto manage people and them something that like he manage different drivers and stuff and like
Mm.
him can sell certain points for some people and it's just like oh from back then when him there Williams the man there say oh George is a good driver and like him I tell everybody say oh George is and Leclerc kind of get the same thing coming up the ranks with Max like
For sure, for sure.
he's the one that can beat Max if you get a match right say
Yeah, yeah.
so
Meanwhile, meanwhile,
he's
science
not
is the
doing
one
that
thing.
exactly but
Yeah,
that's,
because let's also no offense to Leclerc, but this weekend was this weekend because Red Bull had a rough weekend.
yep, yep.
You know what I mean?
And I hope they have many more.
They will. This is the downfall, bro.
Oh
Because
no, please don't do this. Please don't. Oh
this is
man.
the downfall. This is we are seeing the fall of the empire, bro. We are seeing the fall of the
May
empire.
I click that part there. But I click this part.
No, I am definitely looking forward to the fall of the empire. Like, especially since me know say we are migrating next year. So it's
We
good to see. So we're not a
are
Ferrari next year.
we me know
So you're not
everything
gonna,
there. Me know me didn't know. What do you mean we? You,
so
French?
you're
Oh
not,
God. Oh
so,
God.
so you're not a Ferrari next year.
I,
But say that
I've
you're not,
been I've been at Ferrari. What are you talking about?
oh, fine, fine. My apologies, my apologies.
At
Uh,
Delhi, and you at Delhi, I go migrate. But,
all right.
but,
Me
but
and
we,
Delano
but
are
we.
going over to Ferrari next year, and it's really good to see the improvements that they've been making. Because to be honest,
Yep.
I
Big
was cussing
improvements.
Ferrari. I was just like, yo,
Brother,
why are they getting money just for being Ferrari? And them
yeah.
not the shit for the past 3, 4 years.
Brother, I
Like
remember every
that's
time, every time me I complain, like, man, me I say something like, yo, plan C, me I say, damn idiot. Is it like,
so yo, you know that well, someone I said in another group chat that I hope that Lewis knows he's gonna be the number 2 driver. And I think he does. I
You
don't
think
think.
so?
I think he does. I think
Let me
if
tell
he
you.
is smart,
Let me tell
hold
you.
on. I think if he is smart, he will go into it thinking that he's a number two driver, but
Mm-hmm.
not playing the number two driver role.
Okay,
If you
because
understand what I'm saying.
that's what I'm
So,
saying. Because
so
even now with Mercedes, him do it. Him do this little thing where him play like it's not necessarily passive aggressive, but it's like there are little comments and little things said where they'll be like, "Yeah, man, I know saying not pre me as the one." I know saying isn't it like them little things.
but he's
By the way, big you up on the call because are you or Mickey the call? Said George would have
who?
be the one.
Me. I said
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, yeah, that was
I
a
said
good
it.
call.
In 22, I said it, and
Yeah,
Michaela was like, "No, he'll never be the number two driver." Da, 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 da.
yeah.
I mean, which is not a lie
We
per
never
se,
exactly. Mhm.
because what the argument was, I was saying that he was going to be the number two driver and take over from Lewis, but in a way that is kind of happening, but that has been forced because Lewis is leaving.
Mm.
So they were definitely doing things to set up George to take over. So of course they started prioritizing George a little bit more. But this year it is blatant. Like this year, blatant say, yo, the car setup, nothing is
Nothing.
for
Yeah,
Mr.
Lewis.
Lewis. It's
Mm.
straight George at this point. You know what I mean? Which makes sense. Like I'm not knocking Mercedes for doing that. Like if you have a driver that's coming out, it makes sense to slowly wean him off. What people would have loved, however, is if they tried one last time to put him
Mhm.
back on top of the podium.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think Mercedes is being real with themselves and they are acutely aware that that is impossible.
Possible right
And
now.
because
Yeah.
that is impossible, it makes sense to do the next best thing, which is to
Set up.
invest 100% in George because
Mm.
he's going to be the number one moving forward.
Yeah.
Because even if they get Kimi, if they get which other driver they get at this
Who?
point,
Kimmy?
Kimi, the F2 driver,
Ah, okay, okay, okay. You told me up for a
yeah,
second. No,
Antonello.
I thought exactly. I thought you were talking Raikkonen. I was like,
Oh no 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 no. No, if they get Kimi, like yes, he did pretty well
yeah,
in
but
14,
yeah, but
but
when I trust the transition as much
the
because I
transition
don't.
won't be smooth.
Yeah.
It won't be smooth, and he gonna need time. Gonna need the experience. I mean, he could pull up Piastri. We don't know, but that is a gamble. End of the day, it's a gamble, and
Yep.
so it makes sense to have George. And then you bring in a more seasoned driver like a Bottas or who else? Even if you bring in Signs, like
Mhm.
you at the end of the day are thinking long game,
Yeah.
and Signs is not a long game. Signs is a filler spot
No. Exactly.
and prepare George
Mm.
more to be the star boy. You see me?
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, George, I feel the problem I'm having is George chat too much because you saw where George said, "Oh, he was if it wasn't for the crash, he would have been on the podium."
volume. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like how? Tell me, how were you gonna get on the podium, sir?
He's funny, like whenever him around, like Max, him talk like him a one of the best driver them in the world. Like if Max makes certain joke, him follow exactly what Max say, and like Max say, yo, the race was so boring. He's like, yeah, I could have slept. And I say, yo, brother,
Oh, F1 related. According to Sky Sports, Esteban Ocon being dropped for the Canadian GP is under serious consideration.
you know what?
Yeah,
We're,
it
no,
was,
we're
it
gonna
was,
stop this now. But I think the next time we talk, we have to talk. No, because you know my Ocon story. Like Ocon, I did one YouTube. I say, yo, yeah, I'm G that,
yeah,
and then him just become this
the French Civil War, bro. Itakazi.
French Civil War. But
Hold
no,
on,
but no.
let me just say this one point. So, like, to lead to that last point I just made about him potentially
Mhm.
being dropped. Apparently, when the crash happened,
Yeah.
a popular journalist saw the team principal making a call to say, "Yo, what do you guys think about the reserve driver stepping in?"
Shit.
Yeah, so that's where this comment is coming from that he might be dropped for real because
Mm-hmm.
There is talks that they need to make a change in the team, and I strongly agree.
Agreed.
Like
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think,
Him and Gasly is not. They're not getting along, and I
and
think
I'm surprised that they had them on for so long.